So the fuel filler flap has been snapped off your VW Polo by a careless hand car washer. What's the first thing you do when you get home? You look on YouTube, of course, to see how easy it is to replace it with another. And there's plenty of videos to choose from. Either way, it looks like a straightforward job. So the next step is to get my hands on a replacement. A bit of Googling indicates that the average price for a genuine used VW filler flap is £50 to £60 plus delivery. A bit more searching shows replacement items claiming to be a perfect match to the original factory specifications available on eBay for around the £20 to £25 mark, and that's including delivery. So one of those is promptly ordered, and that's where the fun begins. The natural colour of the plastic flap was a less than fetching shade of grey, so rather than try to get a perfect colour match with the blue, the owner of the car asked me to paint it gloss black. That would match the two door mirrors and add a little bit of uniqueness. Primed, sprayed gloss black and with a finished coat of clear lacquer, I didn't feel it looked too bad. It is an 8-year-old car after all. First thing to do then is to undo and remove the single securing screw, which on this car was a Torx head size T15. With that removed, we unscrew the filler cap and then prise off the short retaining strap from the moulded pip. This was a pretty tight fit and I had to resort to using a small screwdriver, but be careful, otherwise you might split the rubber loop on the end of the strap. Dropping the cap is not compulsory. With the cap out of the way, the next thing to do is prise the rubber shroud over the end of the tank filler neck using a screwdriver or something similar. Don't go mad though, and be careful not to puncture the shroud with the tip, but once you've got the first bit stretched over the neck, the rest should come pretty easily. Then, gripping the whole assembly at the left hand side, you can push in and pull out and it should start to come out from the body shell. You might need to jiggle it a bit so that the hinge body and then the overflow tube can be manoeuvred out. Next step is to remove the overflow tube so it can be fitted to the new part. I pulled it through from the bottom, which was the wrong thing to do and proved hard going. What I should have done is pushed it upwards so that I could then pull it out from the other side. But no harm done. After cleaning up 8 years of motoring crud from around the opening, we're ready to refit the replacement. At this point, I could say that refitting is just a reverse of removal, but that would be a cop-out and not the full story. The first snag was that the replacement eBay item didn't have a moulded pip on which to refit the filler cap strap. Not to worry, easily sorted. Drilled 2 small holes where the pip should have been and fitted a small zip tie which I could thread through the loop on the end of the strap. Feed the overflow tube back in, pull it all the way through so that it's fully seated, and we're cooking on gas. Now for the fun bit. Feed the overflow tube through the opening in the body shell so that it goes down inside such that any spilt fuel will just drain harmlessly onto the road. Now fit the assembly into the hole, starting with the hinge side, and this is where I hit the real problem. No matter how much I pushed, pulled, adjusted, or stood on one leg, the damn thing would not seat correctly. After a good few minutes of trying, I'm starting to think that the housing just isn't going to fit. After removing it again, comparing it with the original and taking a couple of measurements, it looks to me that the diameter is a couple of millimeters larger. I tried soaking it in a bucket of hot water to make the plastic more flexible and attempted to refit it once more. After a lot more pushing and pulling and a bit of swearing, I did get it to sit in, sort of, but as you can see, the lower edge of the rim is still pushed up proud of the body shell. Got you, you bugger. So what happened when I closed the flap the first time? You guessed it, the plastic catch snapped straight away. So we're now left with a fuel filler flap that doesn't fit properly or stay shut. So much for being a perfect match to the original factory specifications. Well, there you go. I'd set out with the aim of trying to make a better video than those already on YouTube, but ended up paying the price for buying cheap. The old saying, you get what you pay for, comes to mind. Oh well, lesson learned. Hope you still found it of some use though. Right, that's it for this one. I'm off to see if I can glue the original back together and get a refund from the seller. Look forward to seeing you again next time. Cheers!